The Aldis podcast is brought to you by Aldis International, supplying your expert AI and digital transformation staffing needs across the US and Europe. Today, you are listening to our ServiceNow series, where we interview the best and brightest of the industry to share their story, advice, and views on the exciting world of ServiceNow and digital transformation.
Hi everybody, it's Mark Kelly here, Chief Customer Officer and co-founder of Aldis, and you are listening to the Aldis podcast as part of our ServiceNow series. And I'm delighted to welcome Ben Person, CEO and co-founder of Tenon. Ben is delighted to have him on the show. I actually met with Ben at K23 a good few weeks ago. Ben, thank you very much for being a guest on our show today.
Thank you so much, Mark. Looking forward to the conversation.
So Ben, if we get straight into it, can you share the story behind the founding of Tenon? And then the second part of that question would be, what inspired you to start this venture?
Yeah, absolutely. So what got me to Tenon was truly a need in the market to address enterprise marketing needs. I was a CMO in my last role and ran a global marketing business. I also worked 12 years in the ServiceNow ecosystem and saw an opportunity to bring enterprise marketing teams alongside their counterparts to be able to deliver campaigns, projects, and tasks all built on ServiceNow. And that's what we set out to do with Tenon.
Fantastic. So the great thing about that is you had that kind of problem yourself in terms of you actually knew what the challenge was because you're in that kind of day in, day out. Why do you think and how did you grow and scale so fast?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we partnered with two great investors. One was High Alpha, and they're the previous Salesforce Marketing Cloud executive team who started a venture studio. So having that MarTech background from one of our investors, and then obviously ServiceNow Ventures also backing us, that was such a horsepower behind us. And so for us, we were able to launch both the company and our first product on the ServiceNow store in just a matter of 4 months, which is just unheard of. And the fact that we built on ServiceNow gave us a platform that we could start with that really accelerated our company launch.
Another way to think about that is it's like 16 weeks, right? 16 weeks. Yeah, truly incredible. So when you look at your background and your previous experience, how did that approach to being an entrepreneur kind of come together with the development of Tenon?
Yeah, I've always wanted to run my own business. And, this opportunity, we actually got a phone call from ServiceNow, and I picked it up. They were asking us if we would be interested in building marketing tech on their platform. I couldn't have said yes fast enough because one, my background is a CMO, and two, my background was ServiceNow. It couldn't have been a better fit. And so that's what ultimately led us to building this and starting this. And, for us, the fact that we had the strategic backing and the strategic solution, I knew this was going to be something that would be really, really impactful for our enterprise clients.
So people don't necessarily know Tenon. What do you believe sets Tenon apart from the others in the industry? Mm-hmm. And what is your unique value proposition?
I mean, the biggest thing is we're building marketing project management by marketers. I spent 6 months trying to solve marketing project management across digital marketing and field marketing and content, all the functions of marketing. I needed a single enterprise level solution that I could scale my business with. And that's truly what sparked this whole thing, what got us interested in getting this into market. And
can you discuss any significant milestones or achievements that Tenon has reached since its inception?
Yeah, I mean, we already have clients on the product. Not only do we have a product in the ServiceNow store for marketing work management, but now we already have customers running this solution. We're also looking at some very large strategic accounts that we're looking to partner with. One of the key things that we did as well, Mark, just to set that stage, was we're also partnered with over 30 Fortune 500 companies that have an enterprise need for this, that raised their hand and said, we want to be a design partner with you. So we built a product advisory council from day one where we started to have phone conversations with customers, and they said, can I be part of this? I have the problem too. Can I help you reach the same outcome I want to get to? And so I would say that the product advisory council for us definitely was a strategic differentiator for us.
Yeah, you're getting so many different inputs in terms of helping define the problem that needs to be solved, and that's allowing for that MVP and the iterations that come about too. Taking that into consideration, what are some of the most valuable lessons you've learned as a founder? And is there any advice you give to aspiring entrepreneurs who are thinking about taking the jump, but for whatever reason are just holding back on it?
Yeah, I mean, some strategic decisions we made. Well, one, finding the right early team. I can't emphasize enough. Like that was my first, before I even launched the business in December of last year, I already had a number of folks lined up in my network. So, knowing who you would bring in if you're a founder, who are those people that you trust to be at your side, because you're going to have a small team that wear a lot of hats early on. So finding the right people is so important early on. So I'd say that's number one. You find the right team and almost anything's possible. Number two would be making sure you're building the right solution. And we got on the phone with over 100 Fortune 1000 companies and asked them, like we're talking about product and product roadmap and direction. Going after MarTech, there's over 10,000 MarTech tools we could go solve and build on ServiceNow. We got to make sure we're building the right one. And so, talking to over 100 major enterprises, they all steered us back to this initial product that we launched. They said, just get us to be able to deliver campaigns and projects and work on an enterprise grade solution. And so that was a key, because obviously building the first right product is going to set you up for success to get to the next potential outcome. So.
Yeah, and when you've been involved in a startup, and I've been involved in a startup myself, and I interview people within startups all the time, it's the other problems or making the decision which problems are the ones to work on, because what you find is there's nothing actually worse than perfectly executing on a problem that doesn't need to be solved.
Exactly.
And people are thinking, from a team perspective, their morale has dropped because they've just wasted a lot of effort, where people are kind of going, that's kind of cool, but that's not going to help me solve my time management problem, or make me more productive, or save us costs. And it kind of comes under that wouldn't it be cool snare that has got so many senior leadership teams in trouble, because the investment is wasted. And what it does is it also hampers future projects, because you're kind of really, really cautious to go after them, and you may not get the investment to do that. So interviewing over 100 people and getting their insights and perspectives, and I suppose being ready for the feedback to say, actually, this is what you're saying, and you want to keep that bias away, because I think Keith Cunningham once said, "There's no ugly babies."
Exactly. I mean, the most important thing is, you talk about the two kind of key things is starting a company. The most important thing is listening to the companies you're talking to. What pains do they have? What problems are they trying to solve? Obviously I had my gut, because I knew what problems I was needing to solve for myself as my CMO role. But, I'm only one person. You got to talk to the real, hundreds of large global enterprises, and they're going to tell you what they want and what they don't want. And, listening is a key to that. And that was certainly a strategy for us. And, it set us on a good trajectory.
Yeah, most importantly, will they pay for it? And
Exactly.
as a co-founder, you need to I suppose understand that if people are actually willing to pay money for this service, that's all the proof you need. And if they're not, then you're working on a problem that doesn't need to be quickly solved. Can you talk to me about any innovative or exciting projects or initiatives that Tenon is currently working on?
Yeah, there's two big ones right now at the moment. One is this move to agile marketing. You hear Agile's been around forever. When you think about the IT side of the house, development shops, like everybody's been using Agile for a very long time. Marketing organizations are just now getting to this point of getting into Agile. Now, there's certainly some that are more mature than others that have been doing it for a while, but this is a set of capabilities that marketers need. Now, we're not forcing customers to use Agile, but now having the capabilities to do Agile marketing within our product is our part of our next release that'll be available here at the end of June. And we have some fairly large clients that said, you build this, we'll buy it, to your point earlier, that need to have agile marketing functionality. So that's one big one, is agile marketing. You hear more on that here later this month in June. The second is some big integrations. And we are working in conjunction with a very large pharmaceutical organization, and they have some business needs around tying in with their compliance system called Viva. And so we're actually going to be building a bidirectional integration in partnership with Viva, and that has a dramatic impact in that compliance and regulated industry. So really going deep in industry is another area that we are thinking about. And so pharma, we're seeing a real big interest in this need for our technology.
Yeah, such a highly regulated environment, and trying to get that set up, I can see the amount of efficiencies and value it would actually add within that type of business. So when you look at the future of Tenon, what are some of your long-term goals and aspirations?
I mean, long-term goal, we are the enterprise marketing work management solution that's being leveraged. So that's the most important thing. So if you're one of the 10,000 and growing ServiceNow customers, already seeing that as a strategic platform, adding your marketing team is just a natural extension of that investment you've already made. So for us, we want to be the marketing work management solution. Marketing works on ServiceNow because of Tenon. And for us, our outcome is, I want to see marketing organizations coming off this island, playing a more transformative role in an organization and being part of the C-suite at the same level as the rest of the CIO, CTO, CFO, CRO, you name it, feeling that they're up here at the table and giving them enterprise level solutions that allow them to share their value, share the ROI story around every marketing dollar that they spend and what the value is contributing back to the company's bottom line. So for us, that's the bigger story. How do we impact these enterprise level marketing organizations with technology that empowers them to deliver and execute at speed and scale?
And when you look at the broader industry, how do you see Tenon contributing to the broader industry or making a positive impact in the world? Because I know that's important to you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we keep hearing, and we were at the Knowledge event together, actually, and you probably heard up on stage, these large global organizations talking about their global business services strategy, GBS. We talked a little bit about this on the side. And the word you don't hear when they're talking about GBS, unfortunately, is marketing. And, if you look back into like the late 90s, dating myself a little bit, you'd hear about this enterprise shared services story, right? Bringing HR enterprise shared services, IT enterprise shared services. You never heard that really around marketing. And in the last 2 decades, you've seen this transformation of companies deciding to take and build their own strategy and pull most of their marketing back in-house, actually. Historically, you'd see marketing being agency-led. It'd be outsourced to an agency and they do all your marketing for you. Most organizations have certainly still outsourced some, but most organizations have brought that back in-house because it's a strategic differentiator for them. Because this GBS strategy is taking place, organizations want to take care of this quote unquote messy middle. They want to have their business services running and truly delivering for the business. Marketing is going to come along on that journey, and they're going to have the opportunity with Tenon to be able to do that.
What a great way to finish the podcast. You've been listening to the All This podcast as part of our ServiceNow series. I've been chatting with Ben Pearson, CEO and co-founder of Tenon. Ben, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the All This podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any Android podcast of choice. You can also head over to our website, www.allthis.com, to listen to more podcasts, view our open roles, and stay up to date with industry news. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more great episodes coming very soon.